In Play Your Scales and Chords Everyday Book 2, this is where one learns octave, major, and minor scales, the basic cadences, and arpeggios. Page 4 is where students learn how one creates a major 1-octave scale, and page 5 is how a basic 1 to 5-7-1 cadence is played. This book is organized in the same manner as Book 1. Let's choose a key and see what the students do to learn it. So let's turn to page 10 and take a look at the key of E major. Students have already learned the pattern of whole steps and half steps in octave scales. So now they're ready to go through the key of E major. With a cadence at the end of the scale. Then there's a 1-octave E major arpeggio, complete with text in red to remind our students where the wrist and the forearm should be moving for the best possible playing of that arpeggio. Now let's look at page 20 together. This page and the pages that follow are my favorite pages to explore. As you notice, the scales are organized in groups in regard to their fingering. Oh, isn't that a dandy idea? On pages 24 and 25, there are 8 technique tips with pictures of a student to help everyone understand what they need to observe in their playing mechanism when they play and how the movements should feel. Fingering charts for major scales on page 20. C major, G, D, A, and E are all in group number 1 because they had the same fingering. And I bet you just can't wait to buy this book and know what group number 2 is made up of, group number 3, group number 4, and group number 5. Excellent, excellent ways to learn the scales so that they're not confusing at all. On pages 26 to 29, there is a step-by-step approach to playing a major scale, complete with pictures. We must remind our students to play scales with strong fingers and a flexible wrist so that they are comfortable while playing their technique and have a good sound. We don't want them to be tight and locked when they play their technique. The rest of the book is based on more practice exercises for scales. Students can never be bored with playing their scales. Each one can be transposed to all the keys they have learned in this book. And just like Book 1, there are quizzes at the end where students need to play their technique and time it to see how long it takes for them to play their technique accurately, and then they feel very successful if they can do that. Oh my goodness, isn't it wonderful when students understand the circle of fifths? It's the light bulb goes off in their head and they're so excited to understand key signatures and how they work. I usually have students press the damper pedal and start with middle C and then find every note that's in the circle of fifths just by counting up the fifth interval. B, F sharp, C sharp, A flat or G sharp, E flat or D sharp, B flat or A sharp, What a tissue box touch release. Oh my goodness, isn't that wonderful? Now let's take a look at page 40 to 43. Such important information on how to understand the key signatures. We should use this as wallpaper in our piano studios. Just kidding.